Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here today with the Toonami ratings from this past Saturday, June 26, 2021. Let's start at the top of the block. At the top of the block, we have My Hero Academia at a 0.15, Dr. Stone at a 0.14, Yashahime, Half Demon Princess at a 0.16, The Food Wars at a 0.11, Black Clover at a 0.09, Shippuden at a 0.09, an Attack on Titan rerun at a 0.07, and a Dragon Ball Super rerun at a 0.05. Overall, this was a much improved week relative to last week, albeit that's a very low bar considering how absolutely poorly the ratings did last week, where not a single show even got to a point one. And the very obvious thing that's right in your face with these ratings is how well Yashahime did. Yashahime won the night for Toonami. Well, the highest rated Toonami show. I think in overall rankings, it was still like 23rd in cable. Toonami in general is slipping relative to the rest of cable, but that's a story for another day. And yeah, Yashahime, like I knew there was gonna be some people watching just for the sake of nostalgia, considering this is the spiritual successor, and in fact, really a direct sequel in many ways to Inuyasha. A lot of people having fond memories of that show when it was on Toonami. Oh, actually, it was not on Toonami. It was on Adult Swim Action. And then that weird period for a few years where it was on weekdays at like 5 in the morning before Cartoon Network would cut back on. Yeah. And yeah, a lot of people just, I guess, tuned in for that, and it beat out My Hero Academia. And and that's another question it brings up with My Hero Academia getting like a 0.15, and I think that's the highest it's gotten. It might have gotten like a 0.16 or 0.17 one time, highest it's gotten since taking over the lead of the block. What does that actually say for My Hero Academia's longevity? Like, it's an old show at this point. Definitely for anime standards. It's in its fifth season. The property has been around what, like 6 years or so at this point. And although it's definitely a huge hit, and it was definitely a huge hit in the United States, it crossed over extremely well in the United States. It markets well. It raises the question, how long is the exact peak of the show going to last? And that's why I thought last season, maybe late the season before, like season three, season four, I thought was maybe the peak in popularity. And it's a natural thing that when shows hit like 4 seasons or so, their popularity, if not outright, their quality starts to diminish. And I think this might be a sign that its popularity is not as high as it used to be. Although it's definitely still high enough to be the second highest rated show in the night. But again, if you're leading up the block, it should be seen as a guarantee you get the highest ratings. It'd be interesting to see if that goes on any next week, if people return to Yashahime. And you have Dr. Stone after My Hero Academia at a 0.14. And I have a question. I have not been following Dr. Stone season two. I was able to watch like the last 5 or so minutes of the episode because I was sitting at my DVR for Yashahime, and it was like them looked like they were setting up to like attack. So wait, is this the actual start of the war? Because I've been told that a lot of people were disappointed with Stone Wars and like how slow things go, especially something with the word wars in its tagline. Does it seriously take them like 5 episodes just to start the war? Because if that's true, that's just horrible pacing. But I digress. I don't know too much about Doctor Stone. Haven't followed it in season two, so I don't know. And then let's skip over Yashahime because I already said my piece on that. But Food Wars. This is where we go from being a great night to all of a sudden a not so good night. Food Wars dropping 500s from Yashahime. That's about a full third of the audience, or at least the 18 to 49 audience. And that just shows like Food Wars was a surprise hit when it first came out. Toonami, I want to say 2019. Yeah, it was like summer 2019 was first on Toonami, and it immediately got stunningly good ratings. And then it got pulled off the air later, like I think like a year or so ago. I forgot the exact timing. And then got put back on the air. But since it's been put back in the air, it really hasn't shined in the ratings. At least nowhere near what it did with season one and two. So I mean, and it's at the middle of the block here. So considering what titles we may get in the future, Food Wars may get a bit of a demotion, or I like to call it for long shows that get pushed back later in the block. I call it the Hunter x Hunter treatment. It might get that. And you have Black Clover, who I'm gonna dub the loser of the night, getting a 0.09, so dropping even further from Food Wars. Black Clover, which for a while was getting close to hitting 0.2s, and now struggling even hit 0.1, and it's just not good. And again, and it just really, again, it might also, well, it's not really that much of a long runner anymore. We only have, I think it's supposed to leave sometime late fall. I did the math one time, and we have a set amount of episodes it's going to have until it ends. And again, there's also questions with how fast Funimation can actually dub Black Clover. Apparently, it was enough of a problem that Toonami had to do an announcement saying, we're going to have season 4 start the week after season 3 ends. And I believe Funimation is still kind of having issues doing this on a weekly basis. Black Clover, I think someone pointed out, was like every third week or so, it's still releasing new episodes. And if that's true, we are going to have some issues later on with regards to how many episodes we have left. And then you have Shippuden, who's always going to be here at 0.09. And actually, if you, the specific rating, since again, they only break down to the hundredths place, if you go further, Shippuden actually built on Black Clover, which is again another theme Shippuden has done. Like, how many times, and it's like 300 something episodes, most of the time late in the block, has Naruto Shippuden built on the show in front of it? I have to say at least like 80 times or so at this point. At least it's felt like that. So, again, 0.09 not the best number, but it built on the show in front of it, so you can't say much about Shippuden. And then Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball Super, those are reruns. It's Dragon Ball Super on that 0.05 though. That's just hilarious considering how this used to be the show on the block. This was the show that brought the ratings to the block. Now it's getting 0.05s, barely getting 100,000 total viewers. I just think that's funny, honestly. So again, and I would have done a quick review on Yashahime, yet I haven't gotten the time to actually get around to watching it. In fact, DVRing it was kind of a living hell because I have AT&T Uverse, and they have this thing that when it's a new schedule night, which this was since it's Yashahime's premiere on the block, they tend to just randomly show an old schedule from the past. Like, for example, at 1 o'clock, they had Jimaseto Death Beats and Balls Masters playing. And so that meant that I had to like DVR 2 separate 15-minute recordings. So when I go back and watch this, I'm gonna literally have to click on one recording, and then when it ends, I have to go back and click on another recording. And it's just this whole other thing I hate. But yeah, that's gonna come soon. Another thing that's gonna come soon is my first waifu video. I am just about finished with the research on that, and I counted, I believe, 61 total waifus. Again, thank you for all your posts. A lot of waifus. I'm gonna break it down about 10 waifus at a time to make this more easier to digest. And I'm gonna try to do it roughly in the order I got them from like first to last. But if there's like for example, for the first batch of waifus, I bunched, I believe, 5 of them into one package, considering they all came from the same show, and I felt like it would be easier to kind of cover it all at the same time. And yeah, that should be coming sooner rather than later. And yeah, that's good. And again, more questions. What's gonna happen next week on Toonami? Is Yashahime gonna build on the 2 shows in front of it again? I'm gonna say no, actually. I don't think it's plummet in the ratings or anything like that. I think it will probably just go down and probably match what Dr. Stone is, maybe slightly build on that, since Dr. Stone has kind of been a disappointment in the ratings. But again, what do you guys think? What do you think Yashahime is going to do? Did you like Yashahime? What show should you think on the block? When do you think Fina Pirate Princess is going to finally come on to Toonami? Leave your comments, leave your opinions down below. Love reading them. I am the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.